There's this notion that most people avoid end-of-life conversations and care, when in fact, death and dying is right in front of us.
People really need to understand that everybody has to go at some point in time.
In some communities, especially communities of color, we don't like talking about death.
There's a lot of people in our communities who have lived through traumatic deaths throughout their lifetime.
Folks just don't really understand, don't really want to go there.
You take Dia de los Muertos, and we celebrate antepasados more than just about any other culture. But it's almost as though we won't be willing to have the conversations about death until after we're gone.
The percentage of people who have wills or who have powers of attorney, the percentage is very low.
If you haven't made any arrangements, then you're left at the whim of whoever's left to take care of you.
Compassionate Choices and the whole mission struck me because they've made a mission of talking about something that's uncomfortable for everybody.
I think that it's okay to talk about death. To talk about death is about living. You can't really live well if you're afraid of dying.
We're in the middle of this pandemic, and this is the first time we've ever been in a pandemic. I said, it might be the first time for you, but as a Black gay man, we had crack, HIV, and AIDS, so this is my number 3, and they were like, oh, never thought of that. I was like, so it's about some very uncomfortable conversations that always have to be had.
I see in Compassionate Choices the potential for that type of intra or intercultural communication dynamic that is more tailored and is more culturally competent.
As Latinos, Hispanos have around the conversation, I don't think there's any science. I think, frankly, we just have to do it. And the only way we do that is through education.
I understand Compassionate Choices as end-of-life planning and care, and I kind of reinterpret that to my own family as life care planning.
Taking that moment to acknowledge that and to prepare really isn't that hard when you think of it that way. The grief is felt by the people who are left, not by the person who died.
As a same-sex couple, families don't always respect the wishes, and we've heard lots of stories. In this case, advance directives brings me much more peace because it's there and it's a binding contract.
And Compassionate Choices has this neat little booklet that lays it all out. They have people that can talk to you about it. And there's a lot of resources that the average person wouldn't have.
Resourceful, the idea that Compassionate Choices could offer some choices that can include financial literacy or, estate planning or, how to have the conversation when.
This is a place and point where we can reclaim some of that power, where we can ask those questions so that we're not walking into an emergency room in crisis without the preparation in the moments that matter most.
Talking about death.
Talking about death.
Well, talking about death.
Talk about death.
Talking about death.
Talking about death. Any of it
Won't kill you.
Won't kill you.